Leo season is here, and yes, it's all about your shine, but it's also all about choices. What's up, everyone? We're back with another round of astrology shots to get us through Leo season 2023. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to detail a little bit about what makes this upcoming Leo season so spectacular. We're also going to talk a little bit about Leo season, Leo energy in general, as that's going to provide us some context for some of these other transits that we're going to be exploring throughout the rest of the month. So first things first, we've got Venus retrograde in Leo. I did a whole other video on that. Venus is going to be retrograde in Leo for the entire season of Leo. It's retrograde basically from, like the day that the sun enters Leo on July 22nd through September 3rd. So you'll definitely want to check that out. But this Leo season is going to be tinted with the flavor of Venus retrograde. It's all kinds of reassessment. We're doing a lot of reassessing over our priorities, where our time and energy is going, and relationships. This is a big check-in for all of our relationships, how we're showing up in relationships. And I heard a quote from RuPaul yesterday, and I just love it. And it's so Leo season. It says, how do you get invited to the party? Well, you got to have something to bring to the party to get invited. And so that just makes me think about Leo season and just letting yourself just be you, unfiltered and you. And that's something that Leo season invites us to celebrate every year, is how we can be bold and fully expressed and generous with our outpouring of energy. I think of Leo energy as being just very warm and inviting and shining the spotlight on everyone. It's like Leo is like a campfire to me. Like everyone wants to get a place right up close so they feel that warmth and they feel that sense of community. Leos are really good at making people feel loved and welcomed and cherished. And Leos are also really great hosts too. Leos love just like, showing off some of their cooking skills or some of their finest beverages or the latest thing that they did to their place. Leos are all about swag, So you can always have a good time with Leos. If you're in company with Leos, you're going to have a good time. And there's no shortage of, hype, basically. Like they will hype themselves up and they'll hype you up. And so it's kind of the season of that. So thinking about Venus retrograde in Leo, about how can we bring more warmth to our relationships and how can we feel more seen in our relationships? So that can be a theme as well. How can we feel more seen and more valued, and do the same for other people? So yeah, that may be something that you're working with. Maybe there's more to the story, but you'll want to check out that Venus retrograde video for more of those themes. But we've got that going on for the entire month. Another thing that we've got going on is Mercury is going to be in Virgo for the entire month. So Mercury is going to be in Virgo for basically the entire Leo season and the entire month of August and September. So yep, Mercury's got a retrograde coming up. So we're going to do a deep dive into Mercury's upcoming retrograde in Virgo. We're going to do that later. That's going to be one of our Leo season shots. But yes, you might start feeling into that energy a little bit here. We've got Mercury and Virgo coming into the season. So yeah, Mercury's going to enter Virgo on July 28th. So we're going to get right into it here. You won't have to wait too long for that one, but you can start feeling into that Mercury and Virgo energy. It's a good placement. Mercury loves being in Virgo. So this is something that beautiful that we get to work with, but Mercury is going to be going retrograde later on in Leo season, and we'll have two personal planets retrograde, Venus and Mercury. So it's a lot of reassessing. It's a lot of pulling things back and taking a look at the things. Okay. So there's a lot of reassessment going on, a lot of revamping going on in various forms. So another thing that is going on during this Leo season is Pluto has retrograded back into Capricorn. And it's at that those last few degrees. Pluto's only going to retrograde back to about 27 degrees and some change of Capricorn. But the entire time of Leo season, Pluto's going to be squaring the nodes, because the nodes have also just ingressed into the late degrees of the cardinal signs. We've got the North Node at 29, going back to about 27 Aries throughout Leo season, and vice versa for the South Node in Libra. So yeah, we've got this theme of Pluto squaring the nodes, endings. So while we have sort of this reassessing going on and trying to feel how we can show up in a more authentic, fully expressed way with Venus retrograde square Uranus, we also have this theme of endings. So when Pluto first retrograded back to that final degree of Capricorn, I started to feel like death was in the air. Lots of people I knew were passing, and I was hearing a lot about that from others too. So it may be literal, you may just be feeling like death is around. You're noticing it a little bit more than maybe normal, but maybe the death is metaphorical. Maybe there's some ego deaths going on, or some patterns that are ending, or relationships that are ending, or things that you're just wanting to do differently in your world. So that can be Pluto in the square to the nodes, because, we got North Node in Aries. That's also kind of that fire energy of Leo, that they share that, unfiltered individualistic streak. So we've got a lot of that going on here. So Leo is a fixed fire sign. So even though we're doing a lot of reassessing, there's something really stabilizing about Leo. And where we can kind of settle into is Leo is ruled by the heart. So you got to come back to center, baby. That's basically the key to getting through this Leo season and some of these other bigger transits going on, is you got to find the heart center. You got to. Where does my heart want me to be right now? And how can I connect with that version of myself that I want to be today? So yeah, I'm reading this book right now. It's a parenting book. It is called The Whole Brain Child. It's called The Whole Brain Child. And it's talking about mindset, and it's for children, but it can be good for adults too. And it's about how we sometimes focus on the things that are causing us dread, or the things that are scary to us, or the ways that we feel insecure. And we can kind of focus on all those things. And the technique is to kind of bring us back into the other aspects of being that are true and are there, but we aren't always focusing on them and noticing them. So they call the technique mindset, I believe, and just being able to kind of like pick it apart and then kind of choose to not give that energy as much attention, and that we can focus our energy other places. So I think that is such a Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde kind of thing of choosing, how to be more in control of your joy, basically, how to choose joy. So yeah, that might be a fun book for you parents out there to read, but even if you don't have kids, it's a great book. So anyways, that's a little bit about what's on the table for Leo season. We will definitely be getting more into these transits as we peek ahead. But for right now, that was your astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Timing with Transits, my 11-week mentorship in Predictive Technique begins on September 21st. We're covering transits, we're covering perfections. We've got a blend of live and pre-recorded tutorials and ongoing support throughout the program. So if you want more information on that, or you want to snag that early bird rate, head to my website, catherineurban.com.